All right now.
Patrick Mahomes is basically God playing quarterback.
Chiefs Kingdom
Live!
They want it. They want it.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. You go get it.
That's a different tier right there, baby.
Yeah, we're not having a snowball fight.
He'll get handled when he gets handled.
The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. Touchdown! Kansas City! One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce. Do it live! Let's go! You gotta fight for your right to party!
Let's go.
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, real quick, if you wouldn't mind, before you forget, make sure you click and tap that like and click or tap that subscribe. Maybe tell a friend, tell a family member, tell some Chiefs fans, help spread the word. We would sure appreciate it. We got a good show tonight. It's the NFL schedule release show. The Chiefs schedule is out. We know who they're playing, where they're going to play, when they're going to play. A little bit of spoiler alert here. The Chiefs got a pretty favorable schedule the way it's built up. So
Not bad.
we're gonna break that sucker down. Make sure if you got a question and you want to make a comment, you throw that up in the chat. It looks like we got Laney in there. I'm sure Big Doug's in there. I bet John C. and Maria and Kevin and some of our new friends are gonna join us here tonight. There they are right there. Before we get into it, fellas, how we doing tonight, Bo?
Doing excellent, man. That schedule is like, ooh, chomping at the bit. Just like, I can't wait to talk about this with the boys, man.
Right.
It came out. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm ready to get into this show. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. We got a week 10 bye week. I know we're gonna talk about the schedule later, but I was pretty excited when I saw that.
That's
Last year was a little too early, and then they had the kind of that gamut of 10 or 3 different games in 10 days, and so yeah, I'm pretty stoked, man. Scotty?
Yeah, that they won all three of.
They won all 3 of them, and then they took like a month off.
Right, and then they took a month off. So I'm doing real well. This is one of my favorite days of the year as far as football fandom and Chiefs fandom goes. The schedule release. It's always cool that you kind of know the home and away opponents, right? The way the schedule is set up, you kind of know that going into the off season. But something about it just being real and knowing that football is right around the corner. When you see the dates and the Chiefs tickets pop up in your Chiefs app if you got season tickets. So first thing I did when I woke up this morning was open the Chiefs app and start scrolling through there. So regular season games go on sale tomorrow to Jackson County. And then I want to say the rest of the general public a day or two after that. So as always, if you're looking to get into a game, make sure
I'm that latter group.
the latter group. If you're looking at wanting to get to Arrowhead this year for a game, hit us up on social media. Might be able to hook you up with some seats in the CKL seats if it's a game that we're not planning on attending. Chief Bloody Grass is in the chat. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
Hope them knees are healing up, man.
Right. Well, without further ado, let's just get into the schedule. It was released about an hour ago after every Chiefs fan account trying to predict the schedule, and their sources said, and
Such a wild.
this is leaked out, and then half of those turn out to not be right, and I'm like, can't you just can't wait until it comes out? Wait till the team puts it out, man. Better be right than first, but not for everybody. So, look, man, if you're not Jordan Schultz or Adam Schefter, right, you aren't getting. Although I did direct message Jordan Schultz last week. It's like, hey, man, any way we could leak one of the games out, please? Didn't hear back, surprisingly. But, it's out. The schedule has been released. We know the full 17 game schedule, 18-week 2025 Chiefs schedule. Pretty favorable, man. Not a lot to gripe about. I think Nick's going to throw it up here on the screen, and we'll go through it. If there's a game you want to talk about, maybe tell us what game you're looking forward to. If there's a stretch of the schedule you like, you don't like, throw it up there in the chat. Chiefs, this has been out unofficially official for weeks now. The Chiefs will be playing, I guess you would say, at the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil.
Yeah,
Week
that
one.
works. Sure.
Friday night. What do you guys think about that game and all of these? The international games have really like exploded, right? And just the number of games these last couple seasons. Bo, let's just go top to bottom here. What do you think about the Chiefs starting off facing the Chargers? I mean, Chargers technically losing a home game, so maybe that gives the Chiefs an advantage. Maybe that's catching a break. What do you think about the Chiefs traveling to Brazil week one and just overall? Are you a fan? Do you dislike all of these international games now?
No, not at all. I love the international games, man. For the longest time, being an NFL fan, that's like what you would hear is like, oh, soccer's king. It rules the world. Come back when the rest of the world's paying attention to football. Hey, guess what? The rest of the world is paying attention to football now. We got games in Europe. We got games in South America. I'm a big fan of it. You listened to us last week. I'm really stoked to play the Chargers the first week, just in the sense that it's a good opponent to come out with and then see what we got going. We made a lot of moves on the O-line. We have our kind of patchwork wide receiving core, but like an undetermined wide receiving core. We don't know how everything's going to work out with Rashee Rice's, suspension and all that, whatnot,
His situation,
and coming back from injury and everything. So it's just gonna be a good test to see where we're at. Division games, there's a little bit more on the line there always, right? So yeah, for the Chargers to lose a home game, that'd be huge week one. I'm a fan of the international play. More fans that can get eyes on football. I'm a fan of, man. I'm still waiting for that Chiefs and Germany game, man. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm learning German, so I'm waiting for that to happen. But so Brazil's fine. I mean, I know a little Spanish. We can have a little fun that week. But no, I'm a fan of it. What about you, Nick?
Look, week one, they don't have to worry about travel, during a regular week, so that they can be prepared. It's against a division opponent, and the Chiefs aren't losing a home game, so it's essentially like, I mean, it's the best it could be. Now, there's some people that are concerned about, they're like telling the players don't leave the hotel, right? But look, this isn't like if I decided to go to Brazil, you know what I mean? Like,
right?
And I'm just walking around, 6'2", and it's like with Target painted on my back, like, hey, look at me. So like they're gonna have all kinds of security. The Brazilian government is like, dude, we cannot have an incident with one of these players. They will not come back. This is a huge thing for us, right? So I'm not concerned at all about the players' safety. I think they're going to go there. It's going to be a good time. And the Chiefs aren't. I mean, they're not losing a home game. So it's kind of like it's like getting paid back a little bit, I think, for last year, some of the sacrifices they made at their schedule. So I'm okay with it, man. I think it's cool. It's on the world stage. Chief Blettergrass, dude, like, I hear you. He's like, it's an American sport, right? It's like, it should be played here. I just think it's cool to kind of showcase our team on the world stage, right? And we're the team that they want to put out there. And like, dude, like, this is. Have you guys seen Patrick Mahomes? Like, I know soccer's cool, but have you seen what that dude does? So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I like it. It's about as, like you said, with it being week one, you don't have to worry about like the long travel in the middle of a regular week. Your guys are kind of banged up, like week 8. Some of these other teams. There's some other teams that are. I think I said the Vikings are going to be the first team to play back-to-back international games in different cities. The Jags, I want to say, have played a couple of years back-to-back games in London, but no team has played in like Spain and then gone to Ireland, which is what the Vikings are doing. So best case scenario for an international game to have one of them, to have it week one. And again, I don't know how much of a home field advantage SoFi is for the Chargers to begin with, but the Los Angeles is a Rams team. I mean, that's their number one NFL franchise out there as far as popularity and attendance goes. So, but nonetheless, they're losing a home game. They've got to travel to Brazil in a week where they would normally be playing at home. So, even if it's a minimal advantage, it's definitely an advantage, and it goes in the Chiefs' favor there. So, maybe a tip of a cap to the Chiefs for being good sports and kind of taking it on the chin at the end of last year. And they played the international game in Germany a couple of years ago. That was mid-year. The Chiefs lost a home game. They're still able to win that game. That was the Tyreek Hill trash talk, fumbled the ball.
Right.
Basically lose the game. But, Bo, I think you see the Chiefs probably play in Germany the next year or two. So I think you're going to be able to get out there for that one. That's kind of like they've claimed Germany as their international market. The Chiefs have, that is. So, yeah, I like it. I don't know how much of a fan I am. I mean, the novelty thing of it was cool, like when it was 1 or 2 games a year. But now that it's, I mean, how many international games are there, man? And you've got teams like I just mentioned, the Vikings playing back-to-back games, international cities, like different places. And it's almost like, I mean,
they're just trying to recreate what the Vikings used to do, you know?
Yeah, that's
It's going to wander around and kick people's asses.
Right. I didn't think of it like that, but so to me, it's gotten to the point where it's getting a little bit much. Like it's getting a little bit much for me, just the number of the games, but they're popular and they make money and people go to them. And I saw a few people on X. If you're not following us on social media, go check us out there. We put up a poll about this very thing, just this explosion of international games, and whether you're a fan of it or not, if you like it, if you hate it, if you love it, if you dislike it, make sure you go check us out there. There was people online that were like from Brazil, right? And it's like, I never thought I'd get a chance to see the Chiefs play in person in my life, and awesome. They're going to be here. And so that's cool for that aspect of it. It's a global game. I mean, all sports are global, right? English Premier League soccer. You guys were talking about the World's Game or whatever earlier. Yeah, sure. They play games here, right? Out here at Sporting Park, they've had some English Premier games at Arrowhead. So it's just it's the wave of the future. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be happening. So, yeah, I like the Chiefs' chances.
Not to date us too much, but we're all kids of the 90s, right? And that's when soccer was getting really big in America.
Mm-hmm.
And like EPL, the team was what? Manchester United, right? Like for America, right. Everybody supported Manchester United because finally America embraced soccer, and that was the team. So if the world's going to embrace us and we're going to be the Man U of the world,
right.
I'm cool with that. Come on in, come on, join Swifty Nation, join us over here
right.
in Chiefs Kingdom.
Right.
So back to the Vikings thing real quick. How awesome would it be if they like showed up at the airport? They're like, oh no, we got you this wooden ship.
Right.
The games.
Right. Make sure you got your real ID if you are playing on the Vikings. So, yeah, interesting, kind of a neat week 1 game playing the Chargers. They did the same thing to the Chargers a few years ago, right? They lost a home game. We played them in Mexico City, right? Was that the international game?
Dan Sorensen, right?
Dan Sorensen had the game sealing interception. So week 2, I mean, big game, another one right out the gate. Kind of, I don't know if I want to compare it to last year, right? But the Chiefs, they started last year against the Ravens and against the Bengals week 1 and 2. I don't know if the Chargers are on the Ravens or the Bengals. Well, they might be on the Bengals level now. They made the playoffs and the Bengals didn't. So Philadelphia week 2, maybe the biggest home game of the year,
right?
Is the home opener, week 2. Nick, what do you think? The Eagles obviously will be playing the night before week 1, the Chiefs on Thursday night. The NFL kickoff game, I believe, against the Cowboys. They get an extra day's rest and they don't have to travel like the Chiefs do that first week. Not a huge gripe on my part, but definitely a factor. What do you think about how do you like the Philadelphia Eagles coming to KC week 2? And do you think the Chiefs travel the Brazil game the week before and be on short rest? Does that play a big part, a little part?
I don't look if it wasn't the Chiefs and we hadn't seen what that team's capable of, right? Like I would say it's a bigger deal. I mean, I think that this is the NFL just still trying to capitalize on like last year. There's a grudge, right? I mean, it wasn't just that the Chiefs lost; they lost big, and it wasn't just that they lost big. It was like then Philadelphia, the Eagles, like talked a lot of shit, right? The city was doing a lot of things, and so I think they're just trying to like make this as big of a game as they can before the season gets on. And you know, it kind of goes and fades into the background. I'm happy that it's early in the season, right? I mean, just like get it out of the way. There's, you know, obviously going to be some feelings on the Chiefs side about this, and so they can just kind of get that out of the way, get it behind them, and then move on with you know the 2025 season.
Bo, what do you think about that week 2 game? Eagles, I'm not going to call it a Super Bowl rematch because it's not, but
Don't call it a rematch.
I'm so glad you said that, man.
What do you think, man? You like that? Is that you don't like that?
So when this came out, that's what I immediately thought of you. Cause like I heard it on some X account or it might have been a YouTube account, but they're like the Super Bowl rematch, and I hear Scott's voice in my head. It's not a rematch. It's not for a trophy, right?
So if we beat them, do we get the Lombardi and get to call
do
ourselves
we get it
like
back and like all that embarrassment
Right.
goes away from the Super Bowl? No.
Right.
Again, so kind of going off my first point of that week 1 game, I'm really excited to see what our offensive line is about, right? Going to learn a lot that week 1, and we're going to learn even more week 2 because, I mean, it's like, all right, you have one game to prepare for what, like, your biggest fault was during the Super Bowl, and you're going to get tested again, right? There's no way you're not. So it's I have a really hard time seeing the Philly defense only bringing 4 and getting to Patrick Mahomes as much as they did in the Super Bowl, right? I think it probably haunts all the defensive coaches' nightmare, like as much as it does like regular fans' nightmares that happened. And so I'm sure they're ready, thgoing to game plan for it. I think it's going to be an exciting game, man. It's there, it's glaring, it's like as Nick said, there's some feelings. It makes me feel a way, right? Just looking at it, just like I want some redemption there. I hope we come out and blast them, but it'll be a great test for us, week 2, right out of the gates.
Yeah, not a primetime game, not Monday Night Football or anything like that, or Sunday Night Football, but still a big game. I think they want also. I think having this game earlier in the year, I think they want both teams at full strength or as close to full strength for the for this matchup. Again, I'm not going to call it Super Bowl rematch, but I think you saw this like similar last year, right? The Chiefs playing the Ravens week 1, and people were kind of curious. I think they want these key matchups like this. I think they want players as healthy as possible. So I don't know. It is what it is. Chiefs get to play this game at home. So after starting on the road, should be early enough in the year to where the travel thing and the being 1 day short on the rest shouldn't be too big a deal at that point. I mean, I guess like if the NFL doesn't really have to worry about creating hype or excitement for anything, right? I was a little surprised last year when the Chiefs played the Ravens week 1. It's like, that's like one of the biggest games of the year. You don't want to like maybe save that for like mid-season when maybe people are kind of, I don't want to say getting bored, but at the beginning of the year, everybody's excited more than they are necessarily maybe like week 8, week 9, there maybe was a mid-season lull or something. You want to like have a key matchup like that, but they like to get these big matchups out of the way early, and so I'm not gonna cry about it. I mean, I think the Chiefs be favored in that game. I like their chances to win, so pretty big, like right out the gate. So first 2 weeks playing primetime in Brazil against the off-season AFC West champions. People are starting with that stuff again, right? So kind of similar to last year, 2 big games right out the gate. Last year, the Chiefs got both the games at home. This year, one on the road. But again, the Chargers kind of losing a little bit of home field advantage there, if not just for the travel aspect of it and not getting to stay at home. 2 big games. I mean, Nick, what do you think? Chiefs is a pretty good test right out the start blocks, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be any like slow ramp up to the season. It's like a marquee division opponent, and then the Super Bowl champs that you've got a grudge match against. Are you guys surprised that that's a 325 game?
No, I mean that's
not for
that's
week
like making it prime time,
It's like
but
prime
not
time
making
light.
it prime time, right? I mean that's like the nationally televised block game, right? Like the 325, not the
Right.
noon game.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be like the game of the week or whatever, right?
Right. Bo, I mean, how big of a chest is this for the Chiefs coming out starting first 2 weeks of the season at Chargers at home against the defending Super Bowl champs?
You know, like my first reflexive answer is like I feel a lot better about this schedule than I did at the beginning of last year when you're like, oh, running against the Bengals and the Ravens to start out
Right.
this season. Yippee,
Yeah.
right? This one's just
Yeah.
like, all right, a little bit more competitive, I would say. Like I thought it was
And
just
those
like-
were last year. Those were two competitive close games out the gate. I mean, the
Right.
Ravens was the toe game, and the Bengals was the pass interference. Tight contests.
And like I'm not trying to demean the quality of our opponents the first 2 weeks. I'm just saying like that just seemed like such
Sure.
a higher tier or like a higher level we had to climb right out of the gates last year than this one. This one seems like a little bit like, and I mean Nick said no quick start, or no slow start, but it feels a little bit better than last year, man. I'm a little bit more confident going into that Chargers game in a foreign country, right? Like you said, there's no home field advantage for either team, and we tend to do great in those situations. And that Philly game, I can't imagine our team not wanting that like so much. You know, like
that
just
one's
that,
circled.
like Nick said, grudge match was a perfect way. That redemption match kind of thing. Like I'm really liking our chances those first 2 weeks a little bit more than I did last year. So I like it.
The players got that week 2 game circled on the calendar, guaranteed. Week 3 at the Giants on Sunday Night Football. There's not really much to say about that game.
Week 3 bye
And
week.
we're off.
Maybe a little bit of a rest there. I don't know. They got to travel. I mean, it's a pretty extensive travel to the first 3 weeks, traveling to Brazil and then to New York. I don't know. I don't think anybody's expecting much out of the Giants this year, right? I mean, they're kind of like in rebuild mode, and they drafted the Jackson Dart guy, right? Giants, they're the ones that took him.
They traded up for him.
Yeah,
They traded up for him, so they're gonna be playing a rookie quarterback, and they that's not like a team that you fear necessarily. So week 4,
those perennial teams, you just kind of like
right?
All right.
Primetime game in New York, get a big TV ratings. Second, right? Basically, 2 out of the first 3 games are primetime. I mean, you consider that week 2 game against Philly the national, Nick like call it the game of the week, but 2 primetime games in the first 3 weeks is interesting. Week 4, Baltimore comes back to Arrowhead. Chiefs didn't end up playing Baltimore last year in the playoffs. The Bills took care of them for the Chiefs, but what do you think about that week 4 game, Nick? Early season matchup against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. How tough an opponent are they going to be this year?
Yeah, look, I think they're always tough against the Chiefs. It's interesting that
We always beat them, but yeah, they're tough.
we always beat them,
They're
but
always
it's
a
always a tough game, right? Like,
Right, yeah. No.
but it's also interesting that we never get that game later in the year, right? Like
It's
you
always
like
before week 5.
because if you look at the schedule and you think, okay, what are the games that may decide home field advantage? You know, it's like Baltimore, Buffalo, right? Those are the ones. I mean, maybe Houston. Like those are the ones that you think kind of like stand out on the schedule, and it's like, you know, they've got Buffalo week 9, right? And then you've got Houston week 14, and it's like Baltimore's week 4, and we always seem to play them in the first few games. But I mean, I think that's good. I think that Baltimore will be hitting their stride, but the Chiefs will, I mean, have already played a couple of tough opponents, and I mean, bring it, man. Like we're always game to play them whenever, wherever, right? If it's in a CVS parking lot,
Right.
so.
As Andy Reid would say, or Darwin Thompson, we'll play them, like you said, CVS parking lot, don't matter where or when, we'll play whoever. Bo, how big of a matchup is that week 4, man, against the Ravens?
I'm curious to see how the Ravens start if they rebound from last. Because I mean, they were so good last year, right? And like
Right,
they just
they were.
kind of fizzled out. And they've been a team that's like been perennially good, but like when a team does that, they seem to like take a step back the following year, right? So I'm kind of curious to see if they do that. But I know that they're going to be hungry, especially with the way they lost to us with Isaiah Likely's toe being out of the end zone on the like kind of the last play of the not the last play of the game, last play of their game,
basically.
But yeah, I mean they're going to be hungry for it. So it's going to be one of those games like I hope that like New York, has some semblance of competition, and like we don't slack off too bad playing them. That we just go into come back home and play Baltimore and just be like and kind of get throttled because we just kind of took too easy against the Giants. But one of those teams that play us good every year. It's hard to like say anything bad about them other than that in bigger moments they tend to fail, and a week 4 game isn't like the biggest moment, so like I don't think we're gonna see a team that's gonna like a Baltimore Ravens team that's gonna fail, right? That's like when they're kind of at their prime. It's early in the season, they're the talk of the town. Everybody's like, "Oh, Lamar Jackson MVP, week 7 already. Here we go." I know it's early for the talks, but like they're that team, so I know they're gonna be hungry for it. I just hope, like I said, we're ready for it coming off that Giants game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Getting them early, so you'd like to think that you're gonna be at as close to full strength as possible. Not a guarantee. Obviously, injuries and things happen at any time, but I think that goes into a big part of like scheduling these key games earlier in the year. I think the NFL wants the best at their best when they play each other. So, Baltimore is an interesting team. They just gave Derrick Henry a 2-year extension.
Saw that today. Yeah.
I don't know what that did for them last year, having Derrick Henry, but they lost to the Bills, right, in the divisional round.
Yep.
So maybe a team looking for some payback. Maybe a team. I mean, I know Isaiah Likely said, "Just wait till we see you in the playoffs," and didn't make it back to Arrowhead in the playoffs. So
we were there.
Don't worry about that. Maybe he should have said, "Wait till week 4 next year." Week 5, right? Week 5, Jacksonville. I swear the NFL schedule makers watch this show and are like, "Oh, you wanted to go to Jacksonville in December? How about not? How about we're gonna have that game week 5?" Why couldn't they have flipped this Jacksonville and Tennessee game, man? Like that's the one of the first things that popped into my head. I mean, dude, I don't know. Tennessee in December, Jacksonville sounds a lot better than Tennessee in December, but the Jaguars team that they're like that team every year that's like, oh, they're gonna be better this year, and that's should be a fairly easy game. I mean, that's a prime time game. Another one, we got 3 in the first 5, and if you look at that next game here, we'll talk about this stretch of 3 straight home games. Another primetime game against Jacksonville. Bo, Jacksonville, I mean, what do you think of that team this year, man? I mean, they're all right. I mean, it seems like they're in constant rebuild mode. Like this is going to be their year, and it just never kind of seems to come to fruition.
You just said the perfect summation of the team. They're all right.
All right.
Like, the Prince is all right. Like they just that's what they do. I mean, they're just so up and down that it's hard to call them a good team because their lows are so low. But then they have little spurts where you're just like, oh, dude, the Jacks actually might be a team this year, and then you're like, what was I even thinking saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I wish that game would have been a cooler weather. I'd go to it because it'd just be nice to get away from the cool weather, go to Jacksonville, enjoy some nice sunny days. That, like I said, those pool tickets sound awesome. I just think Jags are always right there on the cusp of like making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. With all the other moves I've seen other teams making, I think they're going to be on the not making the playoffs cusp this year, right? Like they're going to kind of get edged out a little bit, and so like I think you're going to notice that week 5 early when we kind of beat them and. There's like, yeah, all right, Jags are out. Chiefs are a team now.
Yeah. Nick, Jacksonville week 5. Any thoughts on that game? I mean, that's kind of just a ho-hum week 5 primetime game, right?
Yeah, they traded up to get Hunter, right?
Chiefs get to play Travis Hunter?
Yeah, so we'll get to see Travis Hunter. Oh, that'll be cool. The Jags just didn't seem to recover after that divisional round loss to us, right? That was like kind of the peak of the Trevor Lawrence era. So thus far, I know that he was injured for a lot of last year, but I mean, I don't think that they were lighting the world on fire before he got hurt, right? So
it's part of the reason, like, you didn't see him come back the rest of the year, right? I mean, they kind of packed it in.
yeah, I mean,
at that point.
so, he's like, well, maybe I won't play and just I'll get like this, massive contract that they signed me to. So I think they're going to be a fun team to play. It'll be a cool venue, but yeah, I mean, I do not believe that that's going to be one of those, hey, this is when we look back at the season, that's going to be the one where we're like, that was the game that decided,
Right.
the fate of the AFC, right? So it's just interesting that that's a primetime game, right?
Right. Yeah, I need to get out there to that game this year. I wanted to go the last time, and I think it was week 2, so it got a little bit better this go around. Yeah, and I mean, not much to talk about with that game. It's a team that, like I said, is constantly in rebuild mode, and they got some talented players. And Nick, you mentioned the Travis Hunter angle. That'll be a neat story. But other than that, that's all there is to say, really, about that game.
Okay, Forrest.
That's all I got to say about that.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Chiefs, it's kind of interesting, this first stretch of this first 5 games here. It's like away, home, away, home, away. Like they rotate or they alternate. A lot of times you see a team will play like 2 of those 3 on the road or 2 of those first 3 at home or 2 of the first 5 or whatever. But like back to back, they rotate them that first 5 weeks. So you're playing at home, then you're traveling. You're playing at home, then you're traveling. But then the Chiefs get a 3-game stretch at home. They're weeks 6, 7, and 8. The Detroit Lions come to town for a primetime matchup. Then the Las Vegas Raiders, and then the Washington Commanders, resurgent Washington Commanders, team that made the NFC Championship game last year. Jaden Daniels looked really, really good. Bookended there, right, or around the Las Vegas game, the primetime games against NFC opponents. Nick, what game stands out there? I mean, which of those 3 home games the Chiefs get back to back to back there you got your eye on?
So one of the storylines you're sure to see when this game is coming up, especially now that they've turned their franchise around, is I don't think Patrick Mahomes has ever beat Jared Goff, right? I think he's lost to him whenever they've played. So, I mean, I think that'll be an interesting one. I just feel like that's going to be, I mean, a good test. I don't see the Lions dropping off much right there. I mean, they've, they had that kind of crushing home loss last year in the playoffs, but they're a good team. They've got a good coach. They've got a good core of players. So, I mean, I think that out of these 3, that's the one that probably stands out to me the most. What do you think, Bo?
Yeah, man, I like this stretch. I like it a lot. I like that Washington game a lot. That's the one that stands out to me the most. But what stands out to me the most in this stretch isn't like who necessarily we're playing. So we're at home, obviously, those 3 games. But that's like the time of football where it starts to get just a little nippy out, right? You start putting on a hoodie, everything.
Early fall.
So early fall, you start getting acclimated to that weather, and you go into Buffalo, where it's like, same kind of thing, really cold. Denver, same kind of thing. Indy, really cold. And then you have this slew of teams that are like warm weather teams, right? So it's just that start of that cold weather season that I'm like, okay, glad we're doing this at home, glad we're doing it, I really like that stretch. But going back to the games themselves, I really like that Washington game just of how up and coming that team was last year. Are they going to be able to repeat it? Is their quarterback going to fall into the sophomore slump? There's a lot of things riding for the Commanders that I think that's going to be an interesting game for us if we match up with them. If they're in peak form week 8 and so are we are, I think that'll be a pretty competitive, fun game to watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by that Raiders game. They brought in Pete Carroll and they brought in Geno Smith. I'm kind of interested to see what the team looks like with those 2 guys there. But Washington, I'm really interested to see like what that team can do. You see these teams a lot of times when they go from being bad to jumping up and having like a really, really good season, they kind of take a half step backwards the next year. Mm-hmm. It's going to be really interesting to see. They made that a primetime game. I'm sure they're going to pump up the Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, right? Jaden Daniels set a bunch of rookie records. Patrick Mahomes didn't play his rookie year except for one game, so he didn't really get a chance to set any records. But I know Kevin talked about Detroit being a fraud.
Talking about it, I think he
I
just said
don't-
they're complete frauds.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just reading his
One
comment.
and
I
done
don't
in the
know,
in
man.
the
Lions
playoffs.
are complete frauds.
Yeah, I mean they went one and done last year for sure after having a really, really, really good record. I feel like they've kind of proven though the last 2 or 3 years with their record, right? They're one of these like top tier teams. I mean, no, Nick, I mean
Yeah,
the
I
Lions,
agree.
Formidable now.
they're formidable. They did choke last year. I know they had a lot of injuries, but so did the Chiefs. I mean, let's be real here. Chiefs, we've talked about it before. They lost their wide receiver 1 and basically wide receiver 2 last year, Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown. They lost Isaiah Pacheco. They lost players, man. You know, so it was very disappointing. There's a fire under them. I don't know
They're
how
one
long
of
the
those
Jared
teams
Goff
now.
thing lasts, though, Nick. Like, go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say they're one of those teams that it reminds me of us before we had Mahomes, like the Alex Smith era, right? Jared Goff, kind of Alex
Mhm.
Smith-esque, in the sense that like when you play that team, you're not taking them lightly. Like, oh shit, they got Jared Goff under the helm. They got Amon St. Brown. They got this.
They got
dude named
players.
Gibbs who can run it right down your
Yeah.
throat, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you take
Montgomery.
them seriously, whereas like most of my NFL fandom, the Lions were kind of a joke, and so it's
Oh, yeah.
you're 100% right. The past 3 or 4 years, they've actually turned it around. And they're one of those teams you take real seriously now.
Yeah, especially on offense, man. You know, you mentioned
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, but they got the tight end there, whose name I can't think of now, Sam Laporta. They got Jameson Williams, kind of an underrated number 2 receiver. I think that guy could be a number 1 wide receiver on a lot of other teams. So offensive firepower, the Chiefs defense should be put to the test there. But a nice little 3-game home stretch there, like Bo mentioned, in the early fall, good football weather, man. I'm looking forward to getting out to that Washington game and seeing what the Commanders look like and see Jaden Daniels.
Interesting to see that team.
Week 9 at the Bills.
Does anybody
mean-
else still want to say the Redskins, or you guys still looking for the Commanders? Is the Commanders roll?
I
off the
mean,
tongue
I don't
yet?
know. I just say Commanders because that's what it is now. I mean,
I know,
don't
right?
think-
It is.
They should go
Does it
back to the
roll off
old
tongue, or
name.
do you,
I
like,
mean,
think
no,
about
the
it
Commies,
before you say it?
right? They're the commies now.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to rename the Washington team something, they should name the Lobbyists because we know that town. That's all that is in that town. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But week 9 at Buffalo, the 5th AFC West team we've talked about and joked about.
Oh, man.
The playoffs team. How many times have we played the Bills last 4 or 5 years, man? Like 7, 8 times.
The last
Yeah,
20
insane.
years.
all the times.
Yeah. Is this the year the Chiefs beat the Bills in the regular season, man? Nick, Bills game, how you feeling about that game? It's at Buffalo. You're getting into cold weather, but you're
Yeah.
not going there mid-December and have to worry about a blizzard necessarily, maybe. I mean, it could always happen there that time of year. But, I mean, can the Chiefs get over the hump in the regular season and beat this team?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think that we're going to have the offensive firepower that we haven't had the last couple of years, due to injury or due to, just some players not working out. So I think so. It would make me nervous though, because it's like, well, it's like kind of like they beat us in the regular season, we beat them in the playoffs, right? And I don't want to like reverse that paradigm.
Exactly right. That's
But-
why ruin a good thing?
Yeah, it's a well-placed game. I think we played them week 10 or week 11 the last year, right? Wasn't it week 10? We were 9-0, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it's a good spot. You talked about it's going to be colder, but like we've seen the Chiefs like stomp in 10 below zero with a -20 wind chill. So
Yeah.
I mean, both of these teams are acclimated to playing in whatever conditions. So I think it's going to be a bruiser, man. I think they're both going to be good teams. I think that I still favor. I favor the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, no matter who's coming on the field against them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I know the last Super Bowl didn't work out for us, but I still feel supremely confident in our ability to go in there and beat any team in the league.
Right.
in a fair contest. So
Bo, Chiefs, can they get a win against the Bills in the regular season? I mean, they've lost the regular season contest against them. What is this, like 3 years in a row now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Hey, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, right? Unless we're 8-0 going into this game, and then there's the talk of going undefeated season, and it actually means something to everybody, right? That's the only time I can see this being like this game matters that we beat them, because history has shown, dude, like
Right.
as you just pointed out, they can beat us, and we'll go to the playoffs, beat them, and take our path to the Super Bowl, and they'll have to be at home watching us. So, not that it doesn't matter, right? Every game matters. I would love to get it a win, but that's a tough test. Buffalo at home. I was so surprised at how good Buffalo was last year. It was supposed to be like their rebuilding year, and they looked more dominant than ever. You know, they got rid of Diggs, and all of a sudden their offense is better and all this shit. And it might be a testament to how Diggs is in the locker room or whatnot. But again, I think I just don't think they are going to have as dominant of a year just because of what they did last year. I think that's going to be their game plan again this year, is run it with Cook and Allen. And try to stop that, and as soon as you try to stop that, they're going to try to throw it, right? And there's enough tape now that I don't think they're going to be able to disguise it as well, and there's not going to be any decoys for them to really deviate from that plan. So I think teams are going to be ready for the Bills. I'll be really curious to see if the Bills are as dominant as they were last year, but I mean, again, just one of those teams that we're talking about being formidable again. With Josh Allen at the helm and with all the players they have, they're one of those teams you definitely don't take lightly.
Yeah, I know. It's funny you talk about that game. It seems like every year we talk about, that could be the game for the 1 seed, and then the Bills, they lose to some random team week 13. It ended up costing them. I was kind of surprised. I was looking at some stuff and going through there. Josh Allen, the Bills have never been the 1 seed in the AFC with Josh Allen at quarterback. So yeah, you'd like to think, man, that might be a must-win for positioning and seeding in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter because we beat them 1 year on the road in the playoffs, and then beat them 3 times at home. So those regular season losses to the Bills have not been as consequential as you kind of think they would be when you look at the schedule ahead of time before the year kicks off. So. Nice balance there, home and away games. That first 9 weeks, you got the 3 home game stretch there.
Both might be in KC during those 3 weeks.
Right, let's hope so.
Just a guess.
Hope so. Going to that week 10 bye, Nick. You said that was stood out to the most to you. I mean, how big is that? I mean, that's like really can't ask for a better spot than that. Really, can
perfectly placed. And as you look at this schedule too, so the Chiefs, they have, more home games than they have away games, and one of their away games is an international game. So it's like a half of an away game, right?
Right.
It's really, really a good schedule overall. Like I just they rolled a Yahtzee on this one. So.
Right. Bo, week 10 bye. I know they do buys up until week 12. So,
12.
Maybe you can say 11 or 12, but after 9 weeks, it's almost halfway. But you definitely want it like week 10 is better than a week 8 by a little bit better.
Like we had last year, week 6 or week 7.
Yeah, week 6 is terrible.
Right?
5 or 6.
A lot better about it. And we talked about it last year when it happened. Just like it's that point in the season where it's. Yeah, you're in the trenches, and week 10 is just such a good breather versus week 6 where guys are still kind of feeling things out a little bit, maybe it's getting timing down and everything. I dig it, especially because of the point I was making earlier, right? A little bye week, still getting used to that cold, getting acclimated to cold, going in and playing more cold teams, and then just a slew of warm weather teams that's just going to be perfect for us going into that Super Bowl run for this year.
Right. The thing that stands out
to this, Nick, I forgot Nick's emojis to this was like, week 10 bye. That's so good.
Yeah, that's just about perfect. The other thing too that I noticed when I saw that bye week, if you look at the schedule, like the only time the Chiefs play back-to-back weeks on the road is that Buffalo and Denver game, and then you get your bye week sandwiched in between there. So like you get
Yeah.
a break. I mean, the Chiefs, they don't really play back-to-back games on the road this year. That can't happen very often, right?
It seems a little bit more, I don't want to say
Like,
fair, but like
seems
balanced
like you
compared
always-
to last year, right? It's
Right.
not like we're like constantly going up
Right.
the mountain.
Right. It just seems like you've always got a stretch every year where you play at least a couple games on the road back-to-back weeks. But Chiefs, I mean, they got a nice balance there. And like I said, they get the bye week in between the only two true road games back-to-back in the season. I don't even know if you could call that back-to-back road games with the bye week in there. So
Right.
nice, even more of a break, catching a break there with the week
They
10
do have-
and
Sorry, Scotty, but they do have 2 Thursday games, right, on the back half of the schedule after the bye. So, I mean, that's less than ideal, but I mean, dude, it's overall, it's
right.
pretty badass.
Pretty solid. And we just mentioned you come out of the bye, you're gonna be nice and rested for a road game at Denver. I'm sure the Broncos probably don't appreciate the schedule makers giving the Chiefs a bye week before they come to Denver. Indy, home after that. I know Kevin was predicting like their Chiefs always lose to the Colts. I'll be really surprised if the Chiefs lose to the Colts at home this season. So I know there's been some weird things, like the Chris Jones penalty cost them the one game or whatever. And it seems like whenever the Chiefs lose a game, that one game where they lose, they have no business losing every year. It seems like it comes against the Colts, but not too worried about that game. At Dallas, the first of 2 major holiday games. Bo, what do you think about playing the Dim Boys on Thanksgiving in Dallas?
Sure. Real quick, I want to backtrack just a little bit to that Denver game. You kind of glanced over it. I'm looking forward to that Denver game so much because I have so many Denver fans in my family and friend circle that were so elated last year during their defeat against our third strings that I can't wait for them to play a first string KC, right? So we're going on to Dallas. Let's move on to Dallas, right? I'm super excited about this game. I'm loving all the shit talking that's going on online right now. Like, oh, we're doing the America's team title match, right, for this game. I love that idea. Like, let's play for it, right? Like, we're the most watched team. We're the most popular team. We got the faces. We got the superstars. Like, yeah, let's have that battle, right?
America's Bowl or something.
I also love it because my oldest nephew, Emiliano, dude, when he was a little kid, I hooked him. I thought I had him, right? He was a Chiefs fan, going go Chiefs. His whole family's Cowboys, right? So go Chiefs, go Chiefs. You just watch this kid crush everybody's hearts, right? And this kid grew up, and his dad has a little bit of influence in his life over his uncle, right? So he's flopped.
How weird is
I actually
that?
might be at that game, right, with him, and we might have our first little rivalry game that we actually go see together, right? But luckily, his younger brother Noah, he's still a Chiefs fan, so really looking forward to that game for a multitude of reasons.
Man.
But I'm ready to dethrone the Cowboys as America's team. I don't know about you guys.
Right, we call that America's Bowl or something like that. Maybe come up with some sort of like
We should make a belt for that game.
a
Right?
belt or something. But yeah, I mean,
Do you guys
flipping your-
remember when we played them in Dallas and we wore the old Dallas Texans stuff? Because that was the game that
Yeah.
I was thinking that game was here that they did that. Was
was
that
it here? I thought it was in
I'm
Dallas
pretty sure
because
that
I
was
thought
at-
that like it was the
Do you
game
remember
that
us wearing the old Texans stuff?
I was thinking that was a home game, but maybe not.
was it a home game?
Maybe not.
That's what I think of though when we played like the they
There's been
wanted
people saying the Chiefs should wear the throwback Dallas Texans.
Yeah, and then also the other thing that we didn't talk about yet is that's Patrick Mahomes' childhood team, right? So, he's getting to play his childhood
State.
team like in Dallas, right? On Thanksgiving. That's their thing.
He's got that
that's
circled.
gonna be a huge deal. Do what?
He's got that game circled.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Mahomes does for sure. You're gonna have a bunch of family there.
He's like, I'm gonna do 3 behind the back passes.
Right. Yeah. At Dallas,
Patrick Mahomes versus the $60 million man, Dak Prescott.
right. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that Thanksgiving game, man. Like, Thanksgiving is a great holiday and it gets even better, man. With the Chiefs playing,
Are you guys upset?
Much
that it's
better
on
to play the
Thanksgiving?
Cowboys on Thanksgiving than the Lions, right?
Oh yeah, that's like the game you want on Thanksgiving. That's the
Right.
game everybody pays attention to, right? So like, yeah, let's dethrone them. Let's take over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We got Christmas. Let's take over
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Let's get that Halloween
Yeah.
game. We got Flag
Get it
Day,
all.
I think, somewhere in there. Let's get them all.
Yeah. Yep. Nick, I mean, Cowboys, if you're going to play the Cowboys, if you're playing on Thanksgiving, Cowboys is the game to get, not the Lions, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Also because like I typically go to the Dallas area during Thanksgiving, so I might try to go. Bo,
Yeah.
we may
Get
have to
some
work that
tickets,
out.
man.
Dude, yeah, we should do that.
Get you some tickets. Man, that
It's not far from KC, Scott. We could do this.
man, flipping your kid from a Chiefs fan to a Cowboys fan, that's like child abuse. Like someone should call like
Not my kid.
Children or Family Services or something on your buddy there, flipping them in the middle for the miss the dynasty, man, to go root for a
Call
team that
CP.
has.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan now. Like,
Oh man,
we're sending
that.
units right away. We get it.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Has
get
he
that
seen
kid-
the Cowboys?
Right, yeah, get that kid out of that home, man. That's brutal doing that to your kid.
So obviously, like we all know people have done that. My brother, but like when it happens, right? When you see somebody flip teams, right? I think his little brother Noah had the best response. He looked at me and goes, "Why? They suck."
Right, he did, right.
It's just like
You're gonna flip, at least
what
pick
are you
somebody
doing?
Oh man, like stop being a Chiefs fan right at the dynasty to go to a team
Oh,
that
yeah.
hasn't been to the Super Bowl since. I mean, VHS was like
Yeah.
Blockbuster was in its heyday. I mean,
As
you
much,
talk about
as much pull as I wish I had, right? I
Yeah.
travel, so like I'm not around all the time to be like the complete influence. But I thought I almost had him. I got plenty of pictures of him in Chiefs gear to embarrass him later in life, so it's fine.
right. After facing the Cowboys there on Thanksgiving, looking forward to that game. Back-to-back home games here. The Texans and the Chargers, two playoff teams from last year. Bo, what do you think about back-to-back games against playoff teams? Houston game's a primetime game. Another one there. That's what, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 primetime games in the first 14 weeks, man.
I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to
Yeah,
it. It was like last year, just like, man, I mean, I don't think you'll see him get flexed out by any means either. I think we're keeping all those games. Dude, loving it. Can't complain whatsoever. This is going to be obviously make or break time in the schedule, right? It's going to be kind of like seeding, distribution games.
Yeah, you're
right?
getting to the end.
You'll see how important these games are, and they're going to be formidable, competitive games, right? They'll be important, especially against a division rival. And like you said, Houston was a playoff team last year. I don't see why that would change. They still got plenty of good weapons.
Yeah, they got to be the favorite in that division with the Jags and the Colts, right, and the
Right.
Titans. I mean, I know the Titans got Cam Ward, but I don't know.
Like, how much do you really put on a rookie quarterback?
Yeah.
And, like, change
Well,
the team that first year, right?
Cam Ward's the number one consensus number one quarterback in this most recent year's draft class, but it was not considered to be a deep draft class, right? There wasn't like two or three like
exactly.
guys. Like it wasn't like when Patrick Mahomes was coming out. You know, you had Deshaun Watson and you had Patrick Mahomes, and you see as you get two or three guys that are Bryce Young a couple years ago, people are and Caleb Williams, people are really, really excited to get him out there. So, yeah, he's the first overall pick, but I don't know that he is the can't miss prospect that a lot of number one overall picks have been in the last 10 or 15 years in the NFL. Nick, back-to-back games there. I mean, how big of a stretch is that with playoffs and the end of the season? Like a month
It's
away?
big, and man, I'm looking forward to this Houston game.
Get them at home.
Them talking a little bit of smack and trying to maybe insinuate that the game wasn't fair for them in the postseason. I'm looking forward to kicking their ass back at Arrowhead again. So
Right. Playing the Chargers at home. Where are the Chargers at in the division race at that point, Nick? In the
dude,
playoff
it's tough to
picture?
say, right? I mean, this is going to be another year with Harbaugh, so I think that they'll probably be doing, better. But I'm hoping, this is in December. I mean, I'm hoping we can get to where we have that division pretty well wrapped up before this game. I'm hoping that it's like we're thinking about 1 seed aspirations at that time, but
Yeah.
we'll see, man. I mean, it's maybe a division ascending here. Maybe Bo Nix and Justin Herbert will figure it out this year. But I mean, I think I just really think we're past the point in time where we're going to see Justin Herbert figure it out, right? I mean, I think he had a couple of monster stat years, but they made it to the playoffs last year, but he did not play well. And I think games like that just like have a toll on someone's psyche, right? Over time. It's just like, I just don't see them being a contender for the division mid-December of this year. So
Yeah, we've put it out on our X and our social media accounts, like between the Chargers and the Chargers had like what 2 or 3 wins against winning teams last year, and 2 of those were the Broncos, who had only beaten 1 winning team. I don't know, Bo, the Chargers, what is that, week 15? I mean, are they in striking distance for the division, or are they a serious threat at that point, or no?
For us, no. Like, they're not going to be a threat to us. I don't see that being like they're going to be striking distance with us. But for them, I think this game's going to really matter. I kind of see them being number 2 in our division. To that, I kind of shed a little light on that Denver game, kind of making fun of what they did last year. But I can't really describe how much the Broncos fans in my friend circle are putting their faith behind Bo Nix, and I'm like, guys, do you not realize like you played our secondary, right?
Oh,
like, and
man,
that like the inflated amount of confidence that these Broncos fans have, right? Like, I just feel like it's gonna crumble, fall on their face, and then Raiders gonna Raider. Like, that's all I got to say about the Raiders, right? So like, I can seriously see the Chargers being number 2 in our division, and this being like one of those games, like especially with the number of seeds they have in the playoffs now, that like they're fighting for a spot, right? And so I can see that like them coming out swinging for the fences, trying everything, not punting on 4th down, and like going for strikes when you're not really necessarily looking for them. I could see it being a hell of a game for us, but I don't think that they're going to be within reach of us. And I think that AFC West, Laney, I just read your comment. That's going to be ours. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
around that one.
I mean, 3 games left after that game. At that point, I mean, unless the Chargers are like 3 or 4 games behind the Chiefs, and that could be a fairly big game. I'm not concerned with the Chargers like beating the Chiefs for the division or anything, but it's just an interesting spot there, that week 15 game, and with them, everybody seems to think they're the prime competition in the division. That's looking like a pretty big game with 3 left to go there. If you're up, if you got a couple 2-game, maybe even a 3-game lead on them at that point, you could put the nail in the coffin for them almost at that point. So be interesting to see where the Chargers are at and how close they can stay with the Chiefs. That's a little over, that's basically 3/4 of the way through the year. At Tennessee, following that, Tennessee's in rebuilding year. They got the number 1 pick. We just kind of talked about Cam Ward being the number 1 overall pick, but he's not like a Andrew Luck or even like a Caleb Williams like prospect. He hasn't been hyped like those guys, like a surefire, can't miss NFL quarterback prospect. So Tennessee, that's kind of just like a week 16, right on the road, but a game you'd think the Chiefs should win there.
Patrick Mahomes also never won in Tennessee, right?
Right, yeah. So he's got that dragon to slay. He wants to get that monkey off his back and put it into that talking point. Week 17, Denver, Sunday night, Christmas Day. Bo, I kind of skipped over the Broncos a little bit earlier because I was kind of talk about them when we got to this point, but it's all good, man. Christmas, Denver. Where do we think the Broncos are in the playoff / AFC West race at that point? And another holiday game. I mean, Chiefs playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's created quite the conversation on social media and on the sports talk locally here. Nick, what do you think about the Broncos, where they're at in relation to the Chiefs? How big of a game do you think that might be? And how surprised are you the Chiefs are playing Thanksgiving and Christmas this year?
Look, I'm not surprised, right? I think we've seen that they're going to try to get the Chiefs out there for every opportunity that they can to be on a national stage. I think that they learned a little bit from last year where they put Denver as like the last game, and then we were resting our starters. I think that, they're not, the NFL probably wasn't looking at that Las Vegas game thinking that's going to be a potential impact game for the division. They're looking at that week 17 and saying, okay, so like maybe this could decide the division and or like have playoff implications, and then everybody will kind of be set for that week 18 and they may be resting starters. I think that's maybe why they set that up that way. But look, we talked about this. I mean, the Chiefs asked for the Christmas games, and so I think that this is 3 years in a row. I think that even if it's not official, like it's semi-official now, right? That the Chiefs are the Christmas team. I'm conflicted because we talked about this earlier today, Scotty, and I don't know if we want to get into that kind of lively discussion that we had, but
I'm
like a big fan.
I wasn't there. Let's go.
I'm like not a big fan of the NFL or the Chiefs in general playing on Christmas, but I also was conflicted where like if the Chiefs asked to be the Christmas team, like, well, they freaking should be, like that's the thing is like if that's what the owner wants, like I think that the Chiefs have earned that as an organization, not just through the last few years, but through like their contribution to the game and stuff. So, it is interesting that it's Denver on Christmas. So, that'll be a good one. We'll see, kind of what Bo Nix has in his sophomore campaign here, and it should be a good game.
Bo, Broncos, Christmas. You're just talking about friends you had that like to talk trash. I mean, this would be a good one to get against them. I mean,
tell them to cancel Christmas.
Do you think this game has much implications as far as like the division race goes? And what do you think about the Chiefs playing Thanksgiving and Christmas this year?
Look, I really hate to break the news to anybody who thinks this game's going to mean something, but we're going to be 16-0 at that point.
Well, it'll mean a lot then.
Denver's going to play our second string again. So is Vegas, right? So it's going to just be a boring game, and all the Broncos fans are going to be happy because they're going to beat us again at the end of the season. No, look, as far as like the holiday thing, I don't really have kids, or I don't have kids. So I understand like the whole
they don't really
aspect and don't really have kids. I know, but
none that I talk to.
Yeah, none that I pay attention to or pay for. But no, I see the dilemma, but I mean, unless you're like a diehard Chiefs fan, like the three of us and many of the people watching, most people don't pay attention to the holiday games as diehard as we do, right? Like every play matters, all that kind of thing. It's one of those games in the background that just matters, and I just. The older Chiefs fan in me just is just like, hey man, let's do this. If the Chiefs are on, it's good for everybody, right? More eyes, the better. Like kind of going back to that, hey, let's let the world embrace us as the Man U of the world kind of thing. Like if we're on at Christmas, good or bad, I think it's just good for the Chiefs. So I'm a complete fan of them getting eyeballs when most people are watching TV, right? Like when most non-NFL fans are actually watching a game.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I don't think the Denver Broncos are much of a threat this year. I don't know that that's going to have the implications that the league is hoping it does. As far as like a division race goes, the Broncos, they beat one team. If you take away the Week 18 game where they beat the Chiefs freshman squad, they beat one team with a winning record. And I'm trying to think of who that was now. Was that the Bengals maybe?
No, they lost to the Bengals.
Yeah, no, they lost to the Bengals. They beat Tampa Bay, who – probably the weakest team with a winning record last year on their schedule. Other than that, they lost to good teams. I'm not sold on them. Sean Payton, I don't think is as good as a coach as everybody made him out to be. The guy underperformed and did not have near the amount of success you should expect to have with Drew Brees and a top 5 all-time NFL quarterback, man. I just don't – I don't see it. So, but I'm a fan of it. I really don't understand. If you're on – social media, maybe that's like an aspect of it is just social media, but even on listening to local talk radio here in the last couple of days since they announced this game, there's like an uproar and people are just pissed about you Chiefs. This is ruining our Christmas and ruining our Thanksgiving now that they announced the thing, and it's ridiculous. And the Chiefs, they shouldn't be forcing people to work probably at a crummy job that doesn't pay very good on Christmas anyway. Like, I just don't get those arguments, man. I mean, if it's a seasonal part-time job and it's that big a deal for you, just quit and go get a different seasonal part-time job, man. I don't know. and just the ruining Christmas. I mean, if you're a Chiefs fan, how does the Chiefs playing on Christmas ruin your Christmas, man? Like,
I was there
it's
2 years
so
ago.
wild to
on
me,
our
man.
first
Like,
Christmas game, and we lost. I was at the stadium. We
I know,
lost.
but-
It didn't ruin my Christmas, right?
Yeah,
like I
that's
got to
right.
go to a Chiefs game on
Yeah,
Christmas. It was amazing, right? And
I
then
mean-
last year we won on Christmas. It
Right.
made my Christmas.
right. And I mean, I get it that you got family and you got plans, but one of the local radio guys was talking about, I'd just rather, have the game in the background on, on Thanksgiving with the fam than locked in on the Chiefs game. And I was like, I mean, maybe your family is not as big a Chiefs fans as our families are, or I don't know. Like, I just don't. It's wild to me. I mean, part of the reason I enjoy this is because, especially like we have family that lives out of town and they come into town. I know, Nick, you said you travel for the Thanksgiving, but
Yeah.
the Christmas game, I mean, that's just guaranteeing that I'm going to get to watch a game, right, with the folks and the family that live out of town that travel here or we travel there for the holiday, man. I just don't get it. I mean, we talked about this earlier. I said, people are always like, let's get together and watch the game and let's have a watch party and get the fam together. But not if it's on Christmas. I don't want to watch it with you. Then, man, it's just such an odd, like, gripe from Chiefs fans, the Chiefs playing on Christmas. Especially this is the night game, man. Like, Christmas is over by 7:30 at night on Christmas Day, isn't it? I mean, the presents are open. The family lunch and dinner has been had, man. I don't know. It's really odd, but there's a lot of people that are pissed off about the Chiefs playing Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't get it. I do try to see other people's points of view, or just disagreeing opinions. I just don't get this one at all.
That's always Scott, just always trying to see it from the other person's perspective. No, look. So first of all, the people that are like bitching about the people working at the stadium on Christmas, I don't see those same people clamoring that we should shut down all the gas stations, right? Like, there's
true.
people that have to work.
It's a
on
24-hour.
holidays. Like there's just like jobs that are gonna be there.
Almost
Like those people
everywhere.
probably
Yeah.
were going shopping for Thursday, Thanksgiving specials. Like, so like I think that's mostly a load of bullshit, right? But so I thought about this after our talk, Scott. So like I love listening to music, right? But like if I'm like out like in nature, like in the mountains or somewhere, like I don't like want someone to bust out a radio and start playing. Like that's just like, for me, that's like not the time or the place like to bust it out and start listening to music. I think that's kind of how I feel about NFL on Christmas. Like that's not the day where like I want that game. And I don't think that there was like a huge like ask from the fans for it. To me, it seems more like it's like the NFL just trying to like get their product out there and like consume more market share. And like, so that's where I don't like it. Right. And that's where I'm like, it's not like, they're sitting there listening to what we're thinking or caring about like what we want. They're like, yeah, like we're going to put games on Christmas and like, you're going to watch them because you want to watch the games. Right. And you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch it, but like, I'd prefer if it was just on another day. Right. Like, I like listening to music. I could listen to it on another day though, just not today. And they're like, no, you got to listen to it today. Right. So like, that's how I feel about it.
That's
such a great analogy, because I was camping. This was last summer, but like somebody pulled up into my camp spot, started blaring music, right? And I totally relate to what you're saying. However, like 8 songs deep and like 3 or 4 more of these, they put on a song and I was just like, oh shit! I started dancing along to it, right? It's like one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
because you didn't have a choice.
It's not ideal. It's
Somebody
there.
else made the
And
choice
how many
for you,
games
right?
have
That
we
you
had
wouldn't
to
make for
sit-
yourself. That's all.
How many games I've had to sit through of like both teams I don't care, because my family does watch football and they put it on and you're just like, Steelers and whoever, you're just like, this game doesn't mean anything to me, and like, man, it's just sit there for 3 hours while the family's like digesting turkey and stuffing, right? And everybody's falling asleep from the L-tryptophan, right? So it's just like, well, that's Thanksgiving, but like that's just the holiday games in general. But
I don't think anybody's coming into your house and turning your TV on Christmas night and put the Chiefs game on. I mean, you don't have to watch it. Like,
No, you don't have to.
also true.
so like, I don't know. It's all good. I mean, it's obviously there's people that have differing opinion on it. I just have a hard time seeing, like the hatred. It's just like the viciousness about.
I mean, I don't think that I'm like
man, it's crazy.
to the point of hatred, but I just don't. It's not my preference, right? I mean, it's like there's like plenty of other days they could have done it.
Right.
I didn't bitch
And like
about
I
the Black Friday games. They're like, oh, well, Thanksgiving games, and oh, now Black Friday games, and I just like they're just trying to like oversaturate the market with games, and then they're like, oh, and also if you want to watch it on Christmas, you got to get Paramount Plus, and like I don't like that direction that they're
I
traveling.
was just gonna bring that up. So, which is more frustrating, like the whole holiday thing, or like this year? It's gonna be if you want to watch, if you're a fan and you want to catch every game, you have to get like 10 or 11 subscriptions to different platforms to catch everything, like NBC, Netflix,
Right.
Amazon, DirecTV's Sunday Ticket, all the stuff, right? Like there's 10 or 11 of them, like, right? So like, which one's more frustrating as a fan, like, or
Well, like I'm in the position where legally all the Chiefs games are broadcast on over the air, right? Where I live. So, but if I would say that having to sign up and pay for a service that I didn't want just to get one game would be probably like more annoying. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
Sign up
it's
for
like
that 30-day
being
trial and then
considerate.
cancel it right after the game's over.
You
That's
could,
what
yeah.
some people do.
it
Yeah.
only works one time though. I did that last year.
Right.
So this year,
Right.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing to me too. If you are that against the Chiefs playing on the holidays and you're that against the NFL streaming
Don't watch.
games, don't watch. Don't sign up for the service. Don't watch it because otherwise they're going to keep doing it. So,
Yeah, it just that negates the fact that they had another option, right? They could have just had the game on another day. They could have had it on Sunday. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing, is like they're just like forcing you to either make that decision to watch the game on a holiday or to not do it. And that's what I don't like about it, I guess.
yeah.
Like I mean, we still watch them and we get together and we have fun. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
mean, I guess I just don't feel like I'm forced to watch Chiefs on Christmas. Like, I think it's like
Hot
a
take,
cool
being a Chiefs
thing
diehard fan.
to me.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
you,
think
it's like
dope.
you get to do it,
Functions
right?
to you, Nick.
Yeah, I get to watch
It's
Chiefs
not the
on
worst
Christmas.
thing if you miss
but
a game.
I mean,
it's all good.
I was in a rickshaw in India trying to watch the Chiefs Titans game on my cell
Right.
phone. So
Yeah,
I try
I
not
gotcha.
to miss any of them.
Right. Then the last game of the year at the Raiders.
Arrowhead West, baby.
It's the Chiefs' second bye week. They'll be resting the starters against the Raiders in Las Vegas.
What's
Kind
the
of a
stat at
bad-
that stadium? We've won more games at that stadium
Yeah,
and
then-
more Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have more wins in Las Vegas than any like other coach quarterback combo in the NFL, which is crazy to think of. But overall, we've kind of ran through the schedule game by game here. I mean, Nick, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you? When just like overall, like when you look at the schedule as a whole, what do you think is you're looking forward to the most? A game, a stretch? It's like the biggest advantage. What stands out to you above like all else, maybe when you talk about the schedule?
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing that stands out to me is what I said earlier, where like you're looking at 9 home games and then
Right.
really 7 road games and then an international game. That's the biggest thing, is like, dude, it's like there's a lot of home games, and the bye week is right there in the middle of the season, so like it just feels like laid out incredibly favorably for Kansas City this year. I mean, that's like you pointed out that the only 2 consecutive road games have a bye week in the middle. I mean, has that like ever happened before? You know what I
I
mean?
don't know.
Yeah, that might be an anomaly.
I have to look it up. I don't know how you look that up, but it'd be something good to look up. Yeah. To me, like the thing that catches my eye the most about the schedule is if you looked at starting week 14, that Houston game, you've got 3 of the last 5 games at home, and then the 2 road games are the Titans, which is a team the Chiefs should beat, and then the Raiders game at the end of the year, which could be a starters resting or a place that the Chiefs have had tremendous success at. I don't think I know they've never lost right at Las Vegas. So that is a huge advantage, that last like 4 or 5 game stretch, getting ready to come down to the playoffs, where you could, if you've got some distance on some of these other teams for playoff seeding, you could really like lock that down with 4 or 5 straight wins there to end the season. Bo, what catches your eye when you look at the schedule?
Just like the totality of it, especially when I compare it to the last 2 seasons, right? To me, the term like no excuses is coming to mind, right? Like the team has no fucking excuses this year because the last 2 years, like I kind of feel like the schedule was pitted against us. We had 3 games within 10 days, like X amount of back-to-back games, like it just seems like, and then like the level of opponents, right? Like it seems
giving up
balanced.
A home game for an international game,
right.
Stuff like that.
This schedule seems so much more balanced than years past that it's just like, all right, boys, no excuses. The path's laid out in front of you. And I know like last year doesn't necessarily correspond to like teams being as good at the same, not this year, but like kind of looking at it that way, right? It looks like we have a tremendously easier schedule than years past. And so it's like, let's go, man. No fucking excuses this year.
What game are you looking forward to watching the most on that schedule, Bo?
That Dallas game, dude. All the reasons.
Dallas, there you go. All right.
Nephews. There's a little grudge there, right? I'm really looking forward to that. And then I feel like, dude, we actually like out of all the teams ever, we have a legitimate shot of like literally dethroning the Cowboys of being America's team.
Right.
Man. Like all the stars are aligning for that to happen. That's an unintended consequence I never saw coming.
Right. Nick, what game catches your eye the most? What game are you most excited about? Looking forward to the most? 2025 schedule.
Yeah, I think Bo might have nailed it. I think that the Thanksgiving game against Dallas, I mean, I think that's going to be cool. I mean, it's just going to be like national stage and just, it's just going to be cool for Patrick to get to play there and do it on that holiday. So, I mean, I think that that's going to be a fun one.
Might have to commission Caitlin Snelling getting Travis and Patrick biting that.
Right.
Remember John Madden used to have like the turkey with like 12 legs or whatever?
Turducken or whatever it is they call that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are both going Dallas, huh? Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, man. Which game are you looking forward to?
Well, it's tough. I mean, there's a couple like that week 3 game at the Giants or maybe that Colts game at home.
Hey, man, the Colts do play us tough, right? Like I feel like that Colts game.
No, dude, that Denver game Christmas night. I'm looking forward to that game. That's gonna be the shit, man. I'm gonna be going to that game. Those tickets are not gonna be for sale. I just look at that as like you're playing a division rival. I think it's like a Christmas thing. Is like I said. I mean, I look at that as like almost like a badge of honor too. That like. You're the team that gets to play every Christmas, man. I know a lot of people don't look at it that way. I look at it that way.
How many years did we not watch our team play on Christmas? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I went back and looked at the 2012 schedule, and the Chiefs had 1 primetime game and no holiday games. And I mean, I feel like people are almost maybe forgetting about that, or like maybe weren't around yet for that season. I mean,
it's one of those memories that just block out, right? You just don't remember.
It's a blessing and a curse. But yeah, no, definitely. It's not even close to me that Denver Christmas game. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. So,
I mean, there's a lot of people in their mid-20s that probably don't remember much of before then, right?
No, the before time that we don't talk about.
Long ago. Yeah,
long ago.
Those people who were teenagers before Mahomes, right? They don't remember.
Yeah, they made a movie that was called Land Before Time. Yeah, really good schedule, man. I really can't find anything to complain about with the schedule this year. I mean,
yeah,
nice balance. You get a couple back-to-back home games. You get a 3 straight home game stretch there. We mentioned a good, solid Week 10 bye that just, oh, by the way, also splits up your only 2 back-to-back road games of the year. A nice stretch there at the end where you get a bunch of games at home and a Tennessee and Las Vegas team that I don't think are going to be big factors. That could be a solid home stretch there going to the playoffs, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Laney's asking to go Christmas Day.
It's going to be cold, so.
All right, I got a question.
It might not be cold. Yeah, what's that? What you got? Which question?
So every year to me, there's like one of these games that looks like it's going to be a hard game that ends up not being. And then one of these games that looks easy ends up being hard. Which ones do you think those are going to be?
I'll go first with this because I was
Go.
kind of thinking about that, right? Because like I want it to be Buffalo. I want Buffalo to be like, oh, dude, that's one of those games like you might even have to chalk up a loss there, right? But maybe who knows? I'm just fingers crossed here that that's one of those games you're just like, hey, that was a lot easier than I thought it to be. And then I'm gonna go with those Colts, man. Like now we just kind of laughed them off a little bit, but they're one of those teams like the Steelers to me that just like I don't know what it is. They just if it's our mentality going into that game or like they just got our number, but like they always play us close. It's always a highly competitive game. And then like you mentioned, like the last couple of times the refs kind of gotten in the way with Chris Jones calling Matt Ryan old, and that kind of decided the game. Like that's just they've left a bad taste in my mouth. So I'd really like to see us like get some redemption on them, but. Those would be my 2 picks for that.
Right. For me, I think that Washington game is a game that I think a lot of people are expecting to be tough. I could see Washington maybe taking a step back.
Yeah, that's good.
From last year's success. I'm not necessarily calling for a sophomore slump, but Jaden Daniels, I mean, it's going to be hard for him to have as good a year as he had last year. Not that he can't do it. So I feel like a lot of people are looking at that as like they're a tough competitor and played an NFC championship game. I could see them coming back to earth maybe a little bit. Maybe they overachieved a little bit last year, so they underachieve a bit this year. And then a game I think that has a chance to be tough that maybe ends up not being so tough. Or no, a team that doesn't look to be tough that might be. I'm getting back. Yeah. Oh, man, it's tough. Those are always hard to say because it's really hard to predict like which team is going to jump up. Maybe I'll go that Jacksonville game. You got Travis Hunter. You got Trevor Lawrence. I was talking about that. Oh, they're just an I team. I mean, I could see them maybe having a little bit more juice than people think. And so I'll go with them as a team that I don't think very many people are thinking Jacksonville is going to be all that tough of a game, but I can see them being feistier than we think. Nick, you got a couple you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that Jacksonville game thinking the same thing you were thinking. Yeah. And then I was actually going to say Washington too,
well,
but
there you go. Great minds think alike.
But I'll switch my pick there. I'm going to go Houston. I think that like year 3 is CJ Stroud. I don't think you're going to see him like I didn't watch that Houston team last year, and I was like actually really, to be honest, super impressed with them. I think they're thinking they're going to it's looking like a harder game, but I think they're going to fall off this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a primetime game. Chiefs get that at home, so could definitely be the case. I don't know, anybody in the chat there, what game you got your eye on, you're looking forward to the most? Favorite part of the schedule?
Are there any non-Chiefs games that you guys are really looking forward to? For me, it's the Jets and the Steelers. Seeing if just watching Aaron Rodgers go back into the New York Stadium, seeing how that goes.
Is that a done deal? Is he playing?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but it could be.
Everybody's talking like it is a thing, right? So I'm just kind of going with it like it is.
So he took that whole Brett Favre mentorship like to heart, huh?
Yeah.
He's like, so don't really let him know if you're going to retire. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, like I haven't looked at the other schedules enough to tell you. It'll be interesting just to see how the Bengals do this year.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I'd like to see like maybe some of these Ravens Bengals, maybe one of those games or something, or the Bills. They don't play the Bengals, do they, this year?
Maybe like a Bills-Dolphins game or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the Dolphins are going to be like this year with Tua and Tyreek is.
Tyreek's 1 foot out the door. And
he's been an extra this offseason for them. Yeah. Even more so than he ever was with us somehow, amazingly. Yeah, 8 primetime games is wild.
Laney, for Nick's question, calls the Giants to be one of those games that we don't expect to be tough and we lose, and then that Buffalo is one of those games we expect to be tough and then we win.
There we go. Yeah.
Giants. That's a
Giants,
yeah.
huh?
Giants got a rookie quarterback. Maybe he comes out in first round pick, or maybe he's better than he thought.
Or how is that a primetime game? Is it because it's New York? That's
It's
it.
New York. Yeah, the Chiefs they played the Jets. What was that last year, the year before, and that was primetime Sunday Night Football. I think they were expecting. Now I think they were also expecting the Jets to have Aaron Rodgers that year, and no, he got hurt. Right, that was Zach Wilson.
That was
Aaron Rodgers
yeah.
got hurt. So I don't know. There's just these teams, these big, huge markets like New York and stuff, that they're going to get 2 or 3 primetime games, whether they deserve them or not, really. So
it's a primetime game because it's a big market going against America's team, Nick. Like that's
right.
I'm gonna get a belt. If we win, I'm gonna get a belt.
Right. Not gonna hold this to anybody here, but it looks like we got quite a few people watching live here. We got some people in the chat. Let's go around the horn here. Way too early, unofficial. Not gonna hold it against you. Not gonna set it in stone. Record prediction for the Chiefs. Looking at this schedule.
Ooh. All right.
Which one of you guys want to go first there?
Yeah, I'll go first. 14-3.
I knew I should have gone first.
Are you just going with the same one every year, Nick?
Probably. That's why I jumped in there first.
Who are your 3? I know that was really quick.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm gonna go Jacksonville.
I hope not Jacksonville because I'm gonna be there.
We're gonna sit week 18 against Las Vegas.
Okay. 2.
And I'll say we'll have our annual loss to Buffalo.
The annual season loss, postseason redemption kind of year. Okay. Scott?
Yeah, we're going to be 14-2 going into the last week of the year, and we're going to rest our starters and have another off season at Arrowhead, man. So
right.
What do you think, Scotty?
Man, I want 15-2. Let's go.
I want to say 15. I want to say 15-2, but man, that's just tough to do, man. This isn't official. We're not gonna hold it. When we do our NFL preview show here, what the preseason gets underway, or when we get to that point, we'll do the official records. But yeah, I'll go 15-2, man.
Official guess by Scott, 15-2. You heard it here, folks.
All right.
Hold him to it.
Losses are
Denver and Vegas when we just rest for the last 2 weeks.
I think we should beat the Raiders, even resting the starters.
I like it.
You think Philly beats us?
That'd be 16-1.
No, I don't think Philadelphia's got a chance in hell beating us in that game. Chiefs will be pissed. I'll go Detroit and
home game loss.
Man, I don't want to say Buffalo because I want to fucking beat them. Like, I'll go Detroit and Buffalo. I mean, until we beat them in the regular season, I can't pick the Chiefs to win that game. 15-2. I want to see how the rest of the offseason shakes out, though. But what you got, man? Where are you going?
You guys ready?
16-1.
3 peats over. 17-0.
All right. Well, there you go.
It's the season. It's the season, right?
Oh.
Buffalo's going to slump. All the other Jacksonville, New York, those are going to be ass whoopings. The last 2 games are my worries, right? Like whether or not we're playing that game. We're going to rest all of our starters.
Whether it matters or not.
Yeah, whether it matters or not, right? Whether they want that record or not, right? That's going to be the difference between 15-2 and 17-0. But I'll say it, 17-0. Let's go.
Could you imagine being the guy that they sign off the street and they're like, "Oh, hey, and also by the way, like we haven't lost any games this year. Undefeated's on the line, so don't let us in." Oh, okay.
All right.
Got you.
Right.
Prepare to be let down.
How much are you paying me again?
And I'm ready. I'm ready for training camp now. Looking at this schedule, this is a sweet schedule, man. This is like lined up perfect, bro. I can't ask for a better.
This is that level of like fandom that's like starting to pique me. Because like I'm not gonna like the draft, college stuff. Like it's so speculative.
It's fun,
for me,
but
like,
it's not.
Where are these careers gonna go? How are these guys gonna do? It's like it's so speculative. This is like that first step and like, all right, this is the path.
Right.
All right, gentlemen.
Right.
Let's,
I don't watch
there it
tape,
is.
right? We don't watch tape like and all this stuff on these
Right.
on
So this is
these
that
like
first
Utah
step
State
for
wide
me.
receivers and stuff. So yeah, the draft is exciting, especially the first round. I enjoy watching. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
Yeah,
This definitely-
this tickles my fancy. Just
Right,
Here we go.
yeah.
This is
No,
it's
this-
starting.
This is definitely like the kindling, right, for like the regular season for the
Yeah, I
for the
like that.
for the fire there, the NFL fire they got going. Yeah, Big Doug's with me. Don't see the Chiefs losing that game to the Eagles at home. They'd be fucking pissed.
Right.
Josh Simmons, get ready, buddy. We're gonna need you week 2, man. Like you're gonna have to live up to
Out
that
the
first
gates,
round
bro.
pick, man.
Out the gates. Let's go.
Andy Reid, and they keep saying he's gonna be ready for training camp, and all these people saying that he was the best tackle in this draft class, and
Dude, so we had a question last week. Like, is
He
Josh
needs to
Simmons
go.
ready to go out the gates? Now that the schedule is out, is Josh Simmons ready to go out the gates against the Chargers and then Philly? Right? Like, talk about like
better be. You gotta need him to
throwing
be.
somebody into the bear pit or the lion's
Right.
cage,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like,
know.
that's like
Right.
drinking from a fire hose right there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the Chargers stuff is so funny to me. It's like, oh, they got this other stud running back now, and I'm like, man, did you watch the Chiefs like stuff the run all year last year? I mean,
Who is
Saquon
that
Barkley
Chargers
didn't even
running
get what 80 yards or something in the Super Bowl, which is still like I was thinking about that the other day when they were talking about the Super Bowl. I was like, man, if you would have told me the Chiefs were going to shut down Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl, dude, I would have bet $50,000 the Chiefs are going to win that game, man. Like,
Oh,
how
no.
does you got to be
I'm right
kidding
there
me,
with you,
man?
man.
Like, oh, bro. Sometimes that's one of those things where like, the more you think you know, the less you know, right? Or if it's like too obvious or too like, I don't know, like it's like when these like you see. I don't bet a lot, but when you see like these Vegas lines, you're like, what is Vegas thinking there? It's like they know something you don't know. That's what's going on there, and so
They don't have the bias of fandom.
right.
That's
Sometimes
looking
like
at everything.
sometimes you find out you don't know as much as you think you know, or sometimes like the most obvious thing is something that ends up not coming to fruition. But I don't know. You guys got anything else you want to talk about on the schedule? You ready to get out of here? Or?
Let's do it. Let's get
Yeah,
it.
man.
Really appreciate everybody joining us. This is one of our favorite shows of the off season, and hell, for me, for the entire year period.
It's almost the start of the new season
qualifier on
this
there,
show.
right? It is, man. Like getting ready to kick off. So really appreciate everybody in the chat. It was good to see you all,
Thank you,
Big
everybody.
Doug and Laney. I saw Kevin in there. I can't remember if we saw
Bloody
John
Grass.
C.
There was a
But
bunch
Chief
of people.
Bloody Grass was in there earlier. So always good to see the Chief. And when he's spoken, you know, that's
Race
the word.
car was in there. Thank you, Race Car, for stopping
Yeah,
by.
race car. Hope you're doing well. If we get to see you all here before too long, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, tell a friend,
Down there.
tell a family member. I'm ready, man. Let's get training camp going. Let's get this stuff underway here. We'll be back next week. Talk some more Chiefs. Until then,
Let's
let's go
go.
Chiefs.
All right, let's
Let's
go
go,
Chiefs.
Chiefs.